Hello and welcome to Horror Cult Trash Over, the show that discusses all of the masterpieces and trashpieces of genre cinema. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And Summer Screams continues. We got lots to scream about.
Yes, on the hottest day of the fucking year.
Yes. Yeah, it's a nice refreshing change for Summer Screams to actually reflect how it is in the UK.
Yeah, yes.
It doesn't happen all the time. Before we move on to this week's film, though, what's new with Chris and Gary?
Yeah, a few good films watched this week.
Yeah.
I still...
Weekend, even.
Weekend.
Technically.
Why?
Well, the most films we watched over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, I thought there was a secret I wasn't aware of.
No.
Yeah. Favourite new watch.
Yeah.
A film that I wasn't massively aware of until I randomly bought you the Blu-ray for Christmas. Dr. Caligari.
Yes. Not to be confused with the 1920
yes.
Classic. This is the 1989 classic.
Yes.
Which is a sequel.
Technically, yes. So, directed by Stephen Sayedian.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Who was mainly known for porn films.
Yeah.
But very arty porn films.
Yeah. So,
art film with a bit of real sex thrown in there.
Yeah.
For good measure. And this isn't a hardcore film. I think it's his only softcore film. Well, I wouldn't even say softcore. I mean, it's just a few boobs, isn't it? Really,
I'd say softcore. There's a few sex scenes that go beyond what you'd usually get. It's a outwardly queer film. I'm not sure whether the director was outwardly queer, but I think it says a lot about gender identity, sexual repression, and just, feeling like you don't belong in your skin and finding a way out of that, but very literally within the film. Dr. Caligari, titular character, is Dr. Caligari's granddaughter. Fantastic way of doing things, I think. And it's just futuristic, amazing camp set designs. It's erotic, it's camp, it's
costumes
queer.
Are fabulous.
Oh, just disturbing imagery, just everything is rolling into one. It's just exactly the sort of shit I love. Yeah, I'm grateful for Chris bringing it to my life.
Yeah. So what we did for Christmas was we bought each other a film that wasn't on the other's watch list.
Yeah.
So this one you hadn't
Slipped
heard of
past
at all. Yeah. And I thought that looks like a bit of Gary.
Yes.
And a bit of me as well,
Yeah.
let's be fair.
Yeah.
And I was 100% correct.
Absolutely.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
5 stars.
Yeah.
Best film of the week.
Yeah, my best of the week as well. My worst of the week is Enrapture.
Okay.
Which wasn't awful.
No.
Like, it was one half entertaining and the final 10 minutes entertaining. But one thing I've noticed with a few of the cheaper erotic thrillers we've watched recently, this is an erotic thriller Friday film, they get to a point where they just hit a wall.
Yeah.
And it just drags, and like this one just tried to overcomplicate its plot so much.
This was trying to be
body double.
Absolutely trying to be body double.
It just ended up being a bit boring. But I mean, to be honest, it's worst of the week, but I'd still recommend watching it because I think the rest of the film that is entertaining manages to make it worthwhile watching.
Yeah. I think it's one of those films that should be cut down.
Yeah.
If you can find, if you can make, I suppose, like a YouTube best of moments, and you can find figure out the plot from there, then you could really pull this down to about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I did appreciate
still have all the good bits.
Yeah, I appreciated how the score sounded like it was going to launch into Homes Under the Hammer theme song at any point. But yeah, I mean, listen, you're making a cheap erotic thriller. All you need is a bit of dick, if we're lucky, some boobs, some saxophone, some dodgy camera work, camp dialogue that makes no sense and is over the top. That's all you need. You don't need to overcomplicate your plot. It's okay. Put a little less effort in.
I would say the ending's top tier, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, campery.
Oh, God, yeah.
Personified.
Yeah. Like I said, first half and the final 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Everything else, not so great. What you got a second best? You got a worst?
I had a second best. I enjoyed In Rapture. I wouldn't, and queer filmmaker as well.
Yes,
so
that I did appreciate.
I went with second best, a film that we thoroughly enjoyed. Pin.
Yeah, Pin was great.
Yeah, fantastic horror thriller. Very weird film. One of those really quirky films from the 80s that you kind of think, should this exist?
Way more sad than it had any right to be. Yeah. You kind of think before watching something like Pin, it's going to be typical. Oh, it's a creepy doll going to go around killing people. It's actually the complete opposite. It's, yeah, a really good character study.
Yeah, very similar to
Christmas Evil,
Psycho. The kind of, it's horror, but it's kind of looking into the psyche of the killer. Which I really appreciated. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Honorable mentions.
Yes.
It's Alive.
Yes, watched that for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. I love a film about killer babies where the cast think they're getting Oscars. Amazing.
And Larry Cohen, he hasn't missed so far, apart from Wicked Stepmother.
Yeah, true.
So I'm.
But really... I mean, he got to work with Betty Davis, so he's the real winner.
He did. But looking forward to watching some of his other films actually, because
It Lives Again.
Yeah. Well, apparently, Island of the Alive is just as good, if not better, than the original.
I'm sure it is.
And they're all Larry Cohen, so it's nice to see sequels and a trilogy with the same director, so the same vision. And if it's as good as It's Alive, then I'm there for it.
Yeah, we'll see. Gore School.
Gore School's a nice, fun,
charming, low budget horror film. Shot on video.
Yeah.
Evil Come, Evil Go.
Yes.
This was hardcore porn.
Very much.
Yeah, this actually had real sex in it.
Well,
and it wasn't Erotic Thriller Friday.
There was a lot of close-ups of genitalia.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We saw mouths going on certain areas.
Yeah. It wasn't full penetrative, but
well, no, that's because they couldn't get the fucking angle right. That's why.
And also because I think potentially a couple of the guys were homosexual.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I never. Yeah.
Straight for pay.
Yeah, I never filmed a gay director. Honestly, it's only just over an hour. Do yourself a favor and watch it.
I fully recommend.
If you want to watch highly strong religious women telling people off.
It's so close to John Waters.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Really. I mean, the sex is awful. Yeah. Like really bad. Like really tedious. And interesting. So if they had like a cut without the sex in as well, like really cut it down, you've got a really great film there.
Yeah.
That sex is really bad.
It is. And finally, Trap.
Let's talk about Trap.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about it.
He's M. Night Shyamalan's back, and he hasn't given us his best, but he hasn't given us his worst either. It's just a fun time. That's all it needs to be, a camp fun time in the vein of a lifestyle film with lifetime with a budget.
Yeah. It's, if he's deliberately doing this, then well done. If he's not deliberately doing this, then that's fine, because I'm still entertained.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plot holes, huge.
Yeah.
The dialogue, cringy. You know, the oh, I don't know.
I mean, he captured how the youth speak today.
Repetitive.
He captured how the youth speak today.
Well, yeah, but it was giving me in just like that kind of Gen Z versus Gen X-ness. But it also, I don't think this is a spoiler, it also gave us Josh Hartnett topless eating a piece of cake.
It does. It does. And that's a selling point.
Yeah, that's camp.
So, tell you what's not camp.
Yeah.
What isn't camp? My English was terrible then. I'll tell you what is not camp. Wow. Great start, Gary. Great start. What's not... What? I nearly did it again, for fuck's sake. Give me an English lesson.
Together.
Hottest day of the year, everyone. Hottest day of the year. Tell you what isn't camp. This week's podcast film. A spoiler warning is now in effect as we discuss 2007's horror comedy classic Wrong Turn 2 Dead End.
Yes, the most 2007 horror film ever.
Yeah. It really is. I think
it really is.
Yeah, but I think it's also parodying films from around that time.
Yeah,
this film works best when it uses itself referential humor, the meta humor, really funny at times. And let's be honest, I mean, you can't really speak on this, but I can speak for the both of us when I say this is the best Wrong Turn film. Not saying a lot.
No.
But it is the best Wrong Turn film because this is the one that utilizes the premise the best, with the humor added in, and it's a good little blend. And it's not perfect, but it's at least fun, at the very least.
Well, we did discuss Wrong Turn. No, I watched Wrong Turn for the first time fairly recently.
Yeah, so we discussed
the podcast.
Yeah.
When was this? Was this
mix of March. So March.
Yeah, I absolutely
makes sense.
Forgot that the original had a remake. But we did it for original versus remake, Wrong Turn, and then the 2011 remake.
Try 2020.
Oh,
or 2021.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, and I thought it was a fine original slasher film.
No, I'm saying the original was fine. The remake was fucking awful.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. I can barely remember it. It was so bad.
Yeah, the original. Let me make a mistake. The original is not original.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is what it was. What it is. It was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff. It said, "Oh, Jessica Biel is doing really well in this Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Let's just do our own, but don't call it Texas Chainsaw Massacre because we can't."
Yeah, pretty much. But this deliver on what you continuing on from that episode? Yes. That you said, does this deliver what you thought you were getting from a Wrong Turn film?
This did what I thought Wrong Turn, the original, was going to do. So I would always been, well, I don't know if I'd been told, but I always imagined that Wrong Turn was very gruesome, very grisly and gory. And I was kind of not disappointed, but surprised.
Yeah,
it felt milder than I had originally anticipated. This is very much what I thought Wrong Turn was going to be.
Yeah,
it's very 2000s. It's gory. It's got body parts. It's got jokes and farts and all that stuff that I anticipated the original Wrong Turn to have. Yeah. So what? It didn't. Eliza Dushku wasn't doing fart jokes, was she?
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't.
Good. I am remembering it correct. We watch a lot of films. So I do apologise if there was a fart joke in the original Wrong Turn. I apologise.
There was no fart joke in the original Wrong Turn. But it's also not the most memorable film. So it's
no, true.
There's a
maybe a few fart jokes would have helped.
There's a reason you forgot it. It's directed by Joe Lynch, who is making a name for himself as like a modern master of horror. And I say making, I think he already has. Director of Suitable Flesh, 4 episodes of Creep Show, Point Blank, Mayhem, Everly, Knights of Badassdom. It's a terrible title. I'm sorry, Joe Lynch.
That's really bad. What the fuck is that?
Chillerama, and more.
Knights of Badassdom.
Yeah. I love that you said that in the most British way possible.
Yeah.
Badassdom. Samantha Jones.
Samantha Jones. What else could you do on the hottest day of the year than sit on the pool at Soho House? As they missed you with Evian.
Joe Lynch designed this film as an homage to 80s horror sequels, and he used 300 gallons of blood as well.
Ooh.
Now, Mr. Lynch, if you used 300 gallons of blood in this film, why am I still seeing CGI blood? No, I mean in the sense that. In the sense that. No, seriously, why, Joe Lynch? Why?
Answer me that.
Why? We have seen what you were capable of in Mayhem and in Suitable Flesh. What is this? Why is there CGI blood every now and then? It looks so tacky.
I mean, this is low budget. This is straight to DVD, isn't it?
So we can cut a certain amount of slack. And I will say, having met Joe Lynch in a queue for popcorn at Fright Fest, he was a lovely guy.
Name dropper.
A name dropper, yeah. And just in case it's listening, we love you. It's the film that's good, but nothing more than good.
I feel like so many of his films are an homage to the films that he loves.
Yeah, you see what he's doing.
I say it so much on this podcast, and I mean it so much on this podcast. This is the kind of film that we would probably make.
Yeah.
Because it's an homage to the films that we love. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's all of that 80s horror goodness that we enjoy so much. Now, we sit here and we judge films, and I hope not too harshly or too rudely, because if we did make a film, it we probably wouldn't make Persona or Cleo 5 to 7. We would make this. We would make a horror film. We would make a silly 80s homage horror film.
Yeah.
So there's enjoyment to be there. There's enjoyment to be there.
Yeah, we're both terrible English.
So I know. Is there a gas leak or something? Fucking hell.
But I'd say Mayhem was the first film to ever properly wow me at Fright Fest.
Yes.
Mayhem was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Introduced us to Samara Weaving, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah,
it did indeed.
Good on you.
So this film is written by Turi Meyer and Alfredo Sepsian, and they are a duo who wrote Smallville, Vampire Diaries.
Yes, love Smallville.
Griselda, Stargirl, Candyman 3, Chairman of the Board, Leprechaun 2, the Spider-Man 3 video game.
Yes.
And more.
Chairman of the Board, if I remember correctly. That's Carrot Top, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, with 1.7 on Letterboxd. So yeah, not quite how do I put this politely? The prestigious back catalogue there.
We haven't seen Candyman 3 or Leprechaun 2.
No, true.
But judging from what other people have said, this is probably their best film.
Yeah.
The original script involved the two surviving characters of the first film returning. But this idea was later scrapped when they decided to make a direct-to-video sequel entry.
When they couldn't afford...
Who survived, Chris? Who survived?
Eliza Dushku survived.
And?
Her good friend.
Yes, we'll take that answer.
Yeah, her good pal, the guy who I can see in front of me on the backdrop on Letterboxd.
I don't think it was him.
No.
To be honest, I can't remember myself. So.
Desmond Harrington, no.
Maybe.
I don't. Oh, Jeremy's... Yeah, who knows? Who cares?
This is based on characters by Alan B. McElroy. Budget was $4 million, and I can't tell you how much it made because it went straight to video. And I remember 15-year-old me picking this up on DVD when it first came out, and I thought it was the shit. I thought it was great. Yeah. And here we are. Let's talk about who's in
it. What other films at the time would you say that you picked up and thought were the shits?
2001: A Space Odyssey, The Seventh Seal, The Godfather, Goodfellas, Desperately Seeking Susan.
There we go.
The classics.
There we go. Should we talk about who's in it?
Yeah,
the section we like to call Hey, I Know You.
Erica Larson is Nina Poppers. A shit surname. Why would you, in a film where you have an inbred cannibal character called Pa, why would you call your main girl Poppers? Poppers.
I thought you meant like Poppers.
Not like Poppers.
Like amyl nitrate.
As in loosen your bumhole. I mean Poppers as in the Mamas and Poppers.
Oh, there we go. Papas. I suppose you would say Papas.
Mamas and Poppers, what you get when you don't use the bumhole. Yeah. So the Texas Chainsaw Massacre... It fits with this film. That sort of joke. So... She was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
Yeah.
Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Was she the topless dancer at night? Like the iconic scene.
I think she was.
I think she was.
Yeah.
I think she has a thing for playing alternative types.
Yeah.
Should we
So
say.
2 times star of the podcast.
Yes.
3 times now. She was in Lonely Joe, Anything Else, Phobia, The Butterfly Room, the random horror film with a bunch of scream queens in it.
Has that got nothing to do with the butterfly effect?
No.
Oh. Who was in that
Speaking
then?
of
Butterfly.
2000s.
Or Butterfly Room, starring Barbara Steele, Heather Langenkamp,
Yeah.
Ray Wise, Camille Keaton.
Yeah.
Wow.
PJ Souls.
Adrian King, PJ Souls, Joe Dante. Oh wow.
Yeah.
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 Looks like that. It looks like that girl. I think it looks like.
She's also in Ghost Whisperer, Little Athens, and more. Do you remember Ghost Whisperer?
Oh, the Oh, what was it called? No, that was Medium.
You figure,
Ghost Whisperer was that Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Was she the Horse Whisperer?
No, the Horse Whisperer was Robert Redford.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, the Ghost Whisperer.
The Ghost Whisperer, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah. The Medium was Patricia Arquette.
Yes.
The He'll Never Emotionally Fulfill You.
Yeah.
Not Ghost Whisperer. Medium.
Medium.
Wow. 2000s TV was
wild.
Yeah. Wild. Patricia Arquette played the woman from Beverly Hills.
I know.
He will never emotionally fulfill you.
Yeah, Erica Learson. She tried her best.
The struggle was real in this one, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought a seasoned Scream Queen, I thought we'd get some real good screams from her. Or, mild shock, at least, at times.
The eyes were popping, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little... I'm sorry. I was a little disappointed.
Yeah. No Eliza Dushku.
No. But I was hoping there was a scene that is absolutely an ode to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes. And if you're going to do that, you need to give me Marilyn Burns.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
No, it was barely Marilyn hot. Slightly warm.
Henry Rollins, lead singer of Black Flag, is Dale Murphy.
Yes.
Star of Lost Highway, Johnny Mnemonic, Feast, He Never Died, Heat, Bad Boys 2, Dreamland, Suck, The Devil's Tomb, Con Man, and more. Henry Rollins being in this was the most memorable thing for me.
Yes.
When I first watched it. And it is the thing that makes it so fucking 2000s.
Yeah. So much of the film is dedicated to one premise. Henry Rollins is really cool. And I want to make him look as cool as possible. Spoiler alert, obviously, is in effect. He does die by the end, but gets a really cool death, which makes him look real badass. And by all accounts, I mean, I'm going on the fact that I do like Black Flag, but also he was a guest on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Before it was super cool to be a guest on RuPaul's Drag Race. So I get the impression he's an ally.
Oh, his
the best
character,
kind of ally.
His character, if this was any other film, he'd have been saying the F slur every 5 seconds. Yeah. I was actually expecting it on this rewatch. I was like, oh, okay.
But I'm assuming Joe Lynch wouldn't do that either.
No, because Joe Lynch also an ally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Henry Rollins in this film, it is the selling point. It is the reason to watch this film. He does a really good job. He playing the, like you said, trying to be cool, but also the war veteran who takes himself so seriously, and the Full Metal Jacket type. It's really good casting.
You can tell that he's enjoying this.
Yes.
Like again, if we made this kind of film, we would be living our best lives. I'm like, please give me a big death scene. Please, I'm enjoying myself here. I've always wanted to be in a horror film, backwards horror film, all that business. I'm sure he also enjoyed performing in Jack Frost, the Michael Keaton as a snowman film. But this is him in his element, clearly.
Yeah. Texas Battle plays Jake Washington, and the first of 2 people on Hey I Know You who was in Final Destination 3. Death Valley, Hard Kill, Coach Carter, One Tree Hill, The Bold and the Beautiful, Dragon Ball Evolution, Wire Room, Ruthless, and more. Blew my mind the other day when I was doing these notes, and I realised Samuel L. didn't win a Oscar for Coach Carter.
Did you?
I never watched Coach Carter, but whenever I saw it as a kid, I was like, okay, that film has to be nominated for Oscars. Surely that film has got Oscars written all over it.
I would assume it's gonna be on some Watch Mojo list of Oscar baits that didn't. Apparently, it's quite good, according to the people I follow on Letterboxd and such. But I'm assuming it's on some sort of list of Oscar bait films that didn't get Oscar nominated. And there's some great films that were Oscar bait and didn't get Oscar nominated. So it's in good company.
Yeah, Texas Battle does a good job. Yeah.
I like Texas Battle, and maybe because of the name, I find him quite memorable. Because when you see it in the... Oh my god, Texas Battle's in this. When really I'm like, oh, I've only seen him in Final Destination 3. Seems to really enjoy recently working with Bruce Willis.
Okay.
A lot of Bruce Willis films. Yeah.
Good friends, maybe.
Maybe, potentially, yeah.
I mean, not recently. Probably about 5 years ago, I'd say.
2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
when they
later
were exploiting him. Yeah. Alexa, that's a story for another episode.
Yeah.
Alexa Palladino plays Mara Stone. She was in Boardwalk Empire, Halt and Catch Fire, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, The Ring 2, The Irishman, No Man of God, Find Me Guilty, Medium, and more.
Yeah. Who did she play?
Mara. So she was the cast member that steps in for the American Idol.
Oh, okay. Yes. Cool. Yeah, she did all right.
Great.
She's all right.
I just thought it's funny that she was a medium.
She was a medium.
And Jan K. Crystal Lowe plays Eleanor Garcia, star of Final Destination 3.
Yeah.
Last seen on a sunbed. Rest in peace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was in Black Christmas 2006.
Yeah.
Again, 2-time star of the podcast. Insomnia, Hot Tub Time Machine, Snakes on a Plane, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Scary Movie 4, Christmas at Dollywood, and more.
Ooh. Is that the one we watched?
Sadly, yeah.
Christmas at Dollywood. Was she the
Christmas
star?
on the Square.
She wasn't the star, was she? No, that was Danica McKellar.
Yeah, lucky girl.
Oh, wow. Did we hate that? Oh, we did.
Yeah,
it
was shit.
bad.
It was shit. Yeah. Anyone else?
Was there anyone else? We're obviously going to talk about our American Idol.
Yes,
aren't we?
We are. Shortly.
Ken Kersinger was in this.
What the fuck was he?
Yes.
Jason Voorhees?
He played Pa.
Oh, someone else I've met.
Yeah.
Another name to drop.
He was also in 13 Ghosts.
He was.
Yeah.
He was the chef in or the bartender in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
That gets thrown across the bar.
Famously stole
Kyle Richards' house. Oh, no.
Kane Hodder's job in Freddy vs. Jason. But he was also in Legends of the Fall, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, Hot Rod. But yeah, known for his stunt work. He did stunts for Romeo and Juliet, X-Men, Origins, Wolverine, my favourite. X-Men, The Last Stand, my second favourite. All that good stuff.
Wow, this is the most amount of people in a cast of a podcast film that I've met.
Oh. Okay. Have you met Rawley T.O.?
Oh, I can't say I have.
Another stunt worker. She plays Sister. Sister. And she did stunts for Godzilla, the 2014 one.
Ah, nice.
X-Men The Last Stand, my second favourite. Fantastic Four.
A lot of Marvel cast members here.
Joyride, Scary Movie 4. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah, Scary Movie and Marvel.
5. John Tucker Must Die. Wonder what stunts were needed in that.
John Tucker, clearly.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, all that stuff.
Cool. let's talk about our feature presentation.
In the middle of nowhere, 8 strangers
Hello?
are about to realize
We shouldn't be here.
they're not alone. Now, the hunt is more terrifying than ever before. Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, unrated.
After the massacre in the forests of West Virginia, American Idol star Kimberly Caldwell,
Mum's favourite,
is driving through the West Virginia backcountry. Did John Denver do West Virginia Take Me Home Country Roads?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Kimberly Caldwell.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, Mum's favourite, John Denver.
Yeah, okay. Driving through the West Virginia backcountry searching for the location of her next reality show project whilst listening to Eddie Grant's Electric Avenue. Second time this has been on the podcast within a month.
Yes.
This was originally supposed to be Eliza Dushku playing herself in a cameo.
Okay. That would have been funny.
That would have been funny. This is very Scream, this opening sequence. Someone popular.
Yes.
Dying in an opening scene.
Yes.
With meta humour.
Yes. She's pretty much playing Jenny McCarthy's character from Scream 3.
Yes.
Very, very similar energy. I'm sure in America, this works better. Because here in the UK, not a Scooby-Doo who this woman is.
Until you listen to a few songs. the other day.
Yes, and we saw her sing beautifully on American Idol. A little bit of the Jessica Simpson over singing, but that was very popular at the time. If I remember correctly, she was in the 2nd season of American Idol.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's berating her agent for these chicken shit gigs.
Yes, he says, "You're Kimberly fucking Caldwell. You're the best celebrity they've got." And she's like, "Oh yeah, if I'm such a celebrity, then why aren't you getting me movie roles?" And she just turns to the camera and winks.
She said, "I was up all night on the red eye and it wasn't even first class." And her agent, hilariously, when she's getting lost, says you can't afford to make a wrong turn here.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's a very good opening.
Very funny.
Yeah. She takes a wrong turn whilst driving.
She does.
And accidentally hits a teenager. She starts to help him, but he turns out to be an inbred cannibal who bites her lips off.
Not an inbred cannibal.
She attempts to escape, but runs into Three Finger, who splits her in half with his axe before he and the cannibal brother drag her body halves away. Amazing.
This is the kill that I would want in a film.
Yeah.
Like, you be the celebrity who gets the big, memorable death scene. Very funny. Considering someone was split in half, it's still very funny.
Yeah.
I like her hair in this.
Yes. Yeah. She's but she's given Real Housewife of Beverly Hills.
She's definitely her hair is pink.
Yeah.
/ Karen. Very mid 2000s. She's and I don't know her. I don't know her in real life. I don't know her story. I don't know. I only see 2 songs and this. But she's kind of giving Fox News energy. I don't know why.
Wow.
But I could kind of... It's the hair. The hair is very Karen. Do you not think?
I don't think Fox News people support Melissa Etheridge the way that she does.
That's true. But I feel like if she still has that hair now...
Yeah,
I
then
think
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's...
It was acceptable in 2007, but not now.
Wow. She's killed off quickly with the one split. And then we get the moment that everyone's been waiting for. The moment that everyone's watching, the reason why everyone's watching this. We get Henry Rollins as former US Marine Colonel Dale Murphy. He's hosting a survival reality game show, The Apocalypse Ultimate Survivalist, in production at the West Virginia Forest. And he does his little introduction video for it. And He's taking himself so seriously. We get interviews of each of the people taking part. Kimberly Colwell did her one before dying, and she says, "I'm going to be a survivor on this show because on my last show, I learned a little something about winning."
Did she win American Idol?
I don't know. Maybe
I don't think she did. I feel like we'd know her if she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who won the second? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't Justin, was it? No, Justin came second in the first one.
We also get lesbian Iraq War veteran Amber, lingerie model Eleanor, former football player Jake, skateboarder Jonesy, and graphic artist Nina, who also reminds us every 5 minutes that she's vegan. Yes. And of course, with Kimberly's unknown absence, the show's producer Mara reluctantly takes her place to participate in the show with the other contestants.
Jonesy is a mid-2000s douche stereotype who's trying to score with the chicks. The rules are there has to be one, and we have Jonesy.
And what this one? If you were to say that he feels like he's straight out of another film, what film would you say he's straight out of?
American Pie, Naked Mile.
Oh, there we go.
A film I've never watched.
But make so many comparisons to.
I do. I just assume maybe if anyone out there has seen it and wants to correct me, but I assume it's probably misogynistic shit.
I've seen it, and you're absolutely right. Okay. Unfortunately, I've seen it. But I mean, to be honest, all of those spin-offs are the exact same. They're all...
I mean, the original's not that
well, yeah,
clean, is it?
No,
in terms of misogyny.
But Jonesy is definitely one of those characters that's placed in a film for one reason only: for us sickos, us horror fans, to like fucking murder him in the nastiest, most gruesome way possible. Please.
And you know what?
It's a little disappointing when it gets to it.
That does not happen.
Yeah, when it gets to the moment, I'm a little mad at what happens in that scene. But yeah, we'll get to that.
Mara's a good girl, plain Jane type. And her boyfriend is the cinematographer, M.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a Battle Royale t-shirt.
Yes.
He's that guy.
He is that guy.
He's that guy. He's the horror fan in a horror film. But yeah, I wish I had that t-shirt. I love Battle Royale.
Yeah. But you don't wish you were as much of a douche as he is.
No, not M. No, not at all.
I love this premise. I think it's something you'd actually expect to see a lot further down the line in a franchise. Especially means it feels like it's parodying the first film so much. But also reality TV shows of the time. In the same sort of way that Halloween Resurrection did, and admittedly, this does it better than Halloween Resurrection. The less said about that film, the better. But putting these people wrong place, wrong time, wrong turn, you know, it works, and it's why none of the other sequels have ever been any good, because they just waste it on just stupid premises. But this actually has a good premise.
Yeah, we are at this time at the height of reality TV boom.
With people like this.
Yes. American Idol's huge. This is probably closer to, and this is a show that did not translate to the UK, but Survivor.
Yeah.
Which is still going, if I remember correctly, fairly strong in America.
Yeah, they reference it in the film.
Yeah, but huge numbers on TV, and it's who can push boundaries the furthest.
Yeah.
And this is before the internet was what it is now. So TV, they were trying to push these boundaries and be as ridiculous and over the top as possible. And Dale, he starts explaining the rules of the game, and it for me, it's definitely a play on Survivor, because I think it's a little convoluted.
It is.
Yeah. And I didn't take any notice, but I am sure 1000% that whatever is being explained is absolutely going to come back in the film later on.
Yeah.
It's that kind of moment.
It's a big Full Metal Jacket style speech. It's definitely what he's going for here. And after this, he gives Jonesy a telling off for laughing at backwards stereotypes.
Yeah. They're stuck in teams. And guess who the lesbian stuck with? The chauvinist.
Yeah.
And he does say, you're a lesbian. How hot is that? And yeah, Dale, having grown up close by, insists that he hasn't had sex with a pig. and is offended that Jonesy would insinuate there's been some inbreeding going around. He's kind of right, though.
He is right, yeah.
Like, this is an inbred cannibal film, and I do wonder why we should just say inbred cannibal as if it's just like a normal thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is an inbred cannibal film. Like, how many inbred cannibal films are there? Like, it's oddly specific, but people kind of generalize it. Yeah.
So many, yeah.
Yeah. There are a few in there. Like,
Hills of Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Are they inbred? I suppose they would be inbred, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. It's kind of two words that don't necessarily sound...
Oh, you've been serious?
Correct. No, I was somewhere in between.
Yeah, no,
I was somewhere in between.
I bet you any money that there is a letterbox list for inbred cannibals.
Inbred cannibals.
Off the top of my head, whilst I'm unprofessionally searching for it.
But I kind of feel like maybe there should be a word for... like a slasher film is a slasher film, but inbred cannibal films, it sounds oddly specific.
I get what you mean, but most of them are slasher films. You know, so we have House of a Thousand Corpses, Hills of Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Just Before Dawn, Cannibal Campout, Offspring, Bone Tomahawk, Deliverance.
So,
Dying Breed, Motel Hell, The Final Terror, Mother's Day, technically.
I suppose it goes hand in hand with hillbilly horror.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So just very offensive.
Yeah,
to a certain demographic.
It's like, oh, look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's ignore everything he was trying to say and just use the idea of inbred cannibals. As the game starts, Free Finger and another mutant cannibal, Pa, murder the television crew and abduct Dale. One crew member has his toupee snatched whilst the cannibal tries scalping him.
Yeah, is that one having a pierce?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's having a pierce and he's aiming his pee as high as possible for some reason. Like, he's deliberately trying to get as high up. And I was like, that's a dangerous game if you don't want to smell like piss. Yeah. The rest of it, like, you're gonna get pissy shoes playing that kind of game.
That we know it's the least of his worries.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a healthy stream, so good for him, and it's very clear, so he must be well hydrated. But yeah, you don't want to smell like pee all day, do you?
Jonesy continues to harass and constantly flirt with Amber before she finally tells him to fuck off because she's a lesbian. And like you said earlier, he's like, "Oh, a lesbian? How hot is that? Oh. What the fuck is wrong with men in the 2000s?" And the thing is, this is a parody of a real person that people actually spoke like this back then. It makes me sick.
Do you want to hear a secret?
They probably still do.
People still talk like that now.
The cinematographer.
But they usually have like a random avatar.
Yeah, true.
On their profiles. Or their they have their profile pictures then with sunglasses sat in a truck. With a MAGA cap on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's full. This is like full American Pie: The Naked Mile, but horror.
This is mid 2000s horror. I mean, this is what you get. There's no two ways about it. Yes, there are the odd ones that are different, but I mean, this is it. There's a demographic. It made millions on home video sales. It actually did well.
Yeah,
that's why it got sequels afterwards. There is a certain demographic. There are teenage boys in 2007 who wanted to see gory films with fart jokes and tits. And this does that.
Not so much the tits part, but as I said, I loved it as a kid.
I mean, I live for a lovely woman showing her breasts.
Yes, yeah, just not in the way that intended. No, of course not. By the film,
I live for it. If she's living for it, I'm living for it.
The cinematographer M tries his best to create sexual tension and a relationship between Eleanor and Jake. But Jake isn't having any of it. He storms off, and Eleanor gives Em a blowy by the lake.
Yeah. She goes for a topless dip to try and tempt Jake, but he's an upstanding citizen who signed up for a family-friendly competition show. And what would he tell his mother and his niece and nephew or whoever if he was to get freaky on a TV show? Eleanor does say at one point, "So, do you want to get wet?"
Okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
That's
2007.
That's not Naked Mile. That's Naked Marathon.
Well, yeah.
It's
Mara,
Naked Mile.
Mara, and
I do need to watch.
No, you don't. No, you
do
don't.
I not?
No, you don't.
Would it make me
You don't.
angry?
Yeah.
Okay.
The American Post spin-offs are not worth watching.
Oh,
at all.
okay.
They are a bit small. Mara and Nina catch them in the act from a distance. And they probably should be questioning why her head is so far to the right and actually nowhere near his penis.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah. It's an awkward angle, isn't it?
Yeah. Nina offers to take Mara to go beat Em up because she has experience from when she put her ex in hospital. But Mara refuses because she doesn't want to be like her.
Yes,
Nina, I thought this was going to come back.
Yeah, Nina is the I don't know. I mean, self-professed bitch. Actually,
yeah.
She says, "Well, I am a bitch," and she kind of is the bitch and the nice girl in a team together. But she redeems herself by the end.
She does, yeah. I don't really know where this I thought she was gonna have like super strength when facing up against the cannibals.
Oh yeah, she actually doesn't do that much, does she?
No.
Considering you're right actually.
Jonesy continues to annoy Amber, but now with added lesbian jokes, and then finds a washing line with clothes on it next to a barbecue with meat on.
Ooh. Now, we should all know from these backwards horror films that any clothes on a line is bad news. Do not go near.
That's true.
And horror in general. If there's clothes, particularly if there's white sheets on a washing line, you run.
That's true. It's danger sign. But they're safe for now.
Yes.
Mara finishes a task and enters a cabin to find a telephone, and Nina follows her. Whilst looking around at the cabin, they hear the occupants return and hide in a bedroom. Mara and Nina then witness female cannibal Ma giving birth to a deformed baby.
Oh dear.
This was all the rage back in the 2000s. And the early 2010s, I think it went as far as the Carrie remake, where we see Carrie being born. Fair enough, it wasn't the book, I will say that. But like around this time, The Hills of Eyes 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, everyone loved a deformed baby being born in a horror film in the 2000s.
This is your audience.
Yeah.
What horrifies a teenage boy more than anything? Like, what's the most disgusting thing you can think of? Giving birth. Oh.
Yes.
Isn't that revolting?
I mean,
we kind of got it this year, didn't we?
When did we get it in this year?
First Omen.
Yeah, but that was saying a message. That had a message that was high art. As high art as an Omen film can be.
But it was still, I mean, it's still like, oh.
Yeah.
It's still to shock an audience.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You know, and just to believe, you know, I haven't witnessed one in real life or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it is kind of, it's very gruesome, but from what I've seen. Yeah. So it is sort of a cheap way of getting a bit of horror into things.
True, but whereas the first Omen had themes and a message, this is just, this is a cheap way of...
But you look at birth in other kind of films where it's like the kid comes out clean and it's just a little sweating from the mum and everyone, any woman who's given birth will tell you in real life that's not what it's like. It's horrible. It's painful. Yeah. It's, you know, the baby doesn't come out clean. You never see a placenta come out on film, you know, in these rom-coms when it's like, oh, push. Oh, you know.
But we saying cheap scare and such, actually quite the opposite with this one. I wouldn't say cheap because the practical effects of that baby looks so good.
Yeah, no, the baby itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean the act.
Oh no,
of
no, yeah,
giving
no, definitely.
birth
No.
is
It was just
sometimes
a way
used
of bringing it
to
up.
horrify a male audience.
I was just using to bring up the baby.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, it is a cheap scare.
Yeah, it's an easy scare.
Easy
Maybe
scare,
not cheap.
yeah.
Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but easy,
yeah,
easy
the baby
one.
looks great. It's the practical effects are really good. There's a lot of blood in the scene, and Ma's daughter sister. Yes, you heard that right.
Sister.
Spots them in the bedroom, forcing the two to escape through the toilet pit.
I assumed
They were
that
gonna
we
get covered
would
in
get
shit.
covered in shit.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the actress says, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. We just leave through the toilet pit. You didn't even get. Oh, it stinks.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get any of that.
No.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they have nice shits.
Maybe. Use good air fresheners.
Poo smells like roses.
They run into the woods, but Mara is hit in the head with a hatchet thrown by Pa. Genuinely a little surprising because, you know, when you watch it and you see that she replaces Kimberly, and it's like, oh, now she's been put into the situation which she wasn't originally going to be in, then she gets cheated on. You go, oh, okay, this girl's making it to the end.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Yeah, I was surprised. I genuinely thought that was going to be our final girl.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It was nice to have something a little different.
Nina searches for the others as the cannibals collect Mara's corpse. After having sex at the lake, Em leaves and Eleanor stays to tan in her underwear, whilst brother has a wank over her before sister stops him.
Yeah, so Em wants to keep it a secret, but I thought the whole point is that she only had sex with him for airtime.
That's true.
So I kind of like, well, if it's not going to air,
Yeah.
then what was the point of it? If she's fine with it not airing.
They wouldn't air her giving him a blowy on TV, would they?
Well, I don't know. They wanted to air her getting it on with Jade.
True.
So I don't. Maybe best not to think too into
Yeah,
it.
it's okay.
One thing, she's sunbathing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even look that sunny. I don't think this was filmed in the summer.
No, but it's a summer film.
It's a summer film.
For anyone who needs to hear that.
But I don't think it was filmed in the summer. It didn't look like sunbathing kind of weather.
No. You know what to say about brother having a wank?
No. It was just maybe it was a play on the audience getting their jollies off of Eleanor about to die.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's about the weird sort of sexualization of women who are just about to be murdered in slasher films.
Yeah.
And then the audience isn't too far removed from brother.
It was just a cheap joke.
Excuse me, I think I've got a point here.
It was just a joke.
I'm going to write an essay on this. I think I've got something there.
Maybe. Eleanor hears a noise and starts to get dressed as sister emerges and slashes her to death with a machete.
Sister's fucking fuming in this film. She's by far the scariest. She's really out for blood. Yeah,
I think the makeup looks really good on all of them.
Yes. Very creepy.
Yeah.
I agree, very creepy.
Pa and Ma hijack the RV and capture Em. Poor Judi Dench.
Shut up.
This is how you save money on Money Supermarket. Dale manages to escape.
Did you not? I know this is the first instant of this, but sister and brother make out after Eleanor's killed as well.
I was saving their airtime for the full deal.
Yeah.
Dale manages to escape and battles Three Finger, ending the fight after Dale shoots the cannibal into the lake with a shotgun.
Yes.
Which I don't think does much damage, so I swear he comes back for the next film. But I can't remember when it's...
He's at the end of this film.
Is he?
Yeah.
I missed
He's the guy at the end of the film.
Of course he is, of course. You don't see his face.
But he has a... there's a film very famously, the shot and goes flying. Oh.
Hills of Eyes.
Is it Hills of Eyes?
The mother goes
flies through the air. Like going back, like flying through the air. Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her.
It's absolutely like Death Becomes Her. And I don't know if that's the reference point.
Hopefully.
It's absolutely like Death Becomes Her. I love that film.
Jonesy, speaking of stuff you love, Jonesy farts.
Whoa.
And says sex a few more times.
Yes.
When Nina arrives and explains her story, the 3 other contestants are eating some meat at this time, found by Amber and Jonesy, which they then realise they've been eating Kimberly's leg and attempt to escape.
They notice a tattoo, and it
Yes.
matches Kimberly's tattoo
does.
of the infinity snake for some
Yes.
reason. Yeah, we get some very light character development whilst they're all eating Kimberly's leg.
Yeah.
But then they escape, don't they? And Nina steps on a nail.
Yes.
And Jake helps her.
Always nasty.
And then, yeah, I don't like nails in feet in films. And then they discuss their history of self-harm and depression. And I feel like it feels a little forced.
It's very forced. It's so forced.
It's kind of, this is a heavy subject.
It is.
And you're kind of doing it because, spoiler alert, these are our 2 survivors.
Yeah.
And it feels, and she doesn't want to show her scars to him. And that's a very heavy subject.
It is.
Which a horror film can deal with.
Yeah.
But it kind of feels a little throwaway just to give them a little bit, because she's been a real bitch up until this point. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why she's a bitch. That kind of thing, which I think is a little, doesn't quite work.
But it's also been, you know, a horror comedy up until this point. Again, horror comedies can still deal with this stuff, but this has been, like, as we've said, the horror equivalent to American Pie. You know, so it's a little out of place.
This feels cheap.
Yeah.
It feels a cheap way of getting us onto their side.
Yeah, which we already are by this point.
Yeah,
She's your
and
final
there are
girl.
ways of doing
He's a
this.
nice guy, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, we're already on their side. You didn't need this. I think it's important to discuss these things, but not here.
Yeah.
Dale enters the mutant family's cabin. He finds the old gas station attendant, who reveals how the cannibal's mutation was caused by inbreeding and effluent dumped in the river from an abandoned paper mill 30 years ago. The man, who is revealed to be the grandfather of Three Finger and the 2 other inbred mountain men who have been killed, attacks Dale to avenge their deaths. And after a brief little scrap, Dale kills the old man by blowing him up with a fucking stick of dynamite and saying, "Say hello to the missus for me."
I loved it, and it looks so good. He
yeah.
proper explodes.
Yeah.
It's like John Cassavetes at the end of The Fury.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That's a spoiler. Oh, sorry.
It's
But
a
that
great
famous
explosion.
as this is an ode to the 80s horror, I definitely feel like that's the reference here, because he proper explodes.
Yeah, it's so good. And really shows off, you know, what can be done with a limited budget when you're using practical effects, because all of the practical effects, again, it's why it's such a shame about the CGI blood every now and then, which I get it, you know, you're trying to further the budget a little more, but the practical effects, oh my god, they're all so good.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing that Joe Lynch knows how to do, it is how to get a great VFX team together. And this is what we get.
Yes. Yeah. It's the selling point of the film. It's kind of the only reason to watch this, and Henry Rollins are kind of the only reason to watch.
Yeah.
And it's worthy of it because it is so good.
Meanwhile, the group stumble upon brother and sister having sex.
Yes.
Really going at it.
Yeah.
Whilst screaming.
I do. I mean, I commend them on committing. Like, if you're gonna have an inbred cannibal film, you're gonna have to show the cannibal and the inbred part.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall. This is it.
Yes.
There we go.
You didn't really see it in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No.
Yeah, this one goes one step
Like,
further.
we're not just going to tell you they're inbred. Let's show you they're inbred.
Nina separates from the group whilst they fight brother and sister.
Very 2007.
Yes. Jake rescues Nina from a pit and they jump into the river to escape sister, whilst Dale gears himself up with his war paint for his big fight against the cannibals.
Yes. Justice for one, justice for all. You get what you give when you've broken. And if anyone gets that reference, you're a friend of mine.
Yes. I get it.
Oh,
I get it.
And then
but-
there's more tits in Savage Streets.
Yes.
Yeah, where she's zipping up.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Henry Rollins isn't in the bath, looking angry.
I'm surprised you remember that and not a bit of Bonnie Tyler for Deadly Games.
Oh yeah, that's a Christmas song.
After Amber and
This is
Jones...
Summer Screams, not Christmas Screams.
True. After Amber and Jonesy are killed with one arrow through both their eyes while searching for help, Nina and Jake enter the mill and find a garage with vehicles stolen from prior victims. Now, this Amber and Jonesy death pissed me off. Why is she stuck with this loser?
Yes. She's
Like-
a lesbian, get over it.
Yeah, and she's also one of the best characters, and he's one of the worst. Like, the fact that they get one arrow shared between them, like, he should have went in a way more harsh way
Absolutely.
than that.
He slightly redeems himself by telling her to just go, leave me. Also telling how, oh, you were amazing back then. You were like Xena warrior princess. I'm like, yes, they're both lesbian queens. I get it. But yeah, it really annoys me. He should have gotten he should have exploded as well.
Yeah, he should have.
Arrow to the eye.
They find the RV, and Jake enters it only to witness M being decapitated by Ma on a live feed monitor inside. Nina and Jake attempt to leave, but the cannibals capture them. The next day, while the two are held hostage at a dinner table, Texas Chainsaw Massacre style,
Yes.
Dale sneaks into the compound to distract the cannibal family who are eating their dinner and manages to kill brother and sister with a dynamite stick attached to an arrow. This is so Dennis Hopper, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Very, very. I feel like that's a big reference point
Oh, yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. They're both, self-referential sequels that aren't afraid to laugh at themselves. And,
Yeah. And rather than a cowboy,
Yes,
we're
he's a
getting
soldier.
a soldier,
Yeah.
a marine.
He frees Nina and Jake, but is killed by Ma and Pa, who are incensed by the deaths of their children.
That's incensed, not incest.
Yeah, wow,
Or
both. And he goes in a lovely, big, elaborate way, doesn't he?
Who does?
Henry Rollins.
Oh yes, he does. Yes. Yeah, very over the top. Very save yourself.
Yeah.
Gets like shot a few times. He's like, "Ah." It's great. I love shit like this.
Yeah.
I do, and I love Henry Rollins, so it does help that he's so likable. Why is he not on the poster? Can we?
That is
can we
strange.
discuss-
That is
Can we
odd.
discuss something here?
Someone fucks Joe Lynch over with the artwork.
The
for this film.
poster is hideous.
But there's a bit of trivia to say that the original trailer, was so bad that Joe Lynch did his own version of it.
Wow.
So I assume it's the same sort of thing with the artwork. It's really, really, bad.
Very generic. It looks like it's like, well, with all due respect, piss stained.
Yeah.
Like the color is
Yeah.
awful. It doesn't say anything about the film.
No.
At least the original had a really cool poster.
Yeah.
Eliza Dushku
Mhm.
looking very scared. Like that's all you need.
Yeah.
Give me Henry Rollins looking scared.
Yeah.
Well, no, he wouldn't look scared because
No.
he's a tough guy. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, he absolutely should have been on the poster.
Absolutely.
Nina successfully escapes, but Jake wanders into a room fitted with a large meat grinder where he's attacked by Ma and Pa. Nina returns to the mill and kills Ma and Pa with the meat grinder. Nina and Jake then find Kimberly's abandoned sports car and drive away.
One thing I found, and I'm assuming this was deliberate, is that earlier in the film, when Nina and it was named Mara,
Yeah.
when they were talking, Mara said, as a producer, they desperately wanted Nina as part of the show.
Yeah.
As a vegan. We knew she was a vegan because we wanted to see how long it would take for her to start eating meat or animals and such. If she got really desperate and desperate to survive. Which she actually does.
Yeah.
Because she bites Pa's neck
Uh-huh.
and rips a piece away from him as
Yeah.
if she's eating him. And I'm assuming that's a reference to that part earlier when she's desperate to survive.
Mm-hmm.
She'll start eating meat.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool, actually. No, I haven't got anything against vegans, and she didn't swallow any of the meat.
She did.
But I just think it's a reference to earlier.
Yes, thank you.
Without her actually eating meat.
Yeah, I completely missed that. So, meanwhile, speaking of eating meat, Three Finger has survived and is seen raising the mutant family's baby, feeding it with a bottle of effluent and a human finger.
Yeah.
And that's
ready for Wrong Turn 3.
Yeah, that's Wrong Turn 2, Dead End.
Is it not called Wrong Turn 3 Finger? No.
Left 4 Dead, maybe the third one.
Is it called Left 4 Dead?
One of them's called Left 4 Dead.
Should we have a look? Don't know why. I think I never watched them. Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead. I'll watch a kill count. Maybe that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But yes, it's Wrong Turn 2, Dead End.
Oh, Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings.
Yes.
That one's snowy. That one's in the snow by the looks
There's a lesbian
of it.
couple lead characters in that.
Oh, nice.
Shame the film shit.
Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines.
Doug Bradley.
Oh, you're getting into Hellraiser there. What is it called Bloodlines for?
Doug Bradley.
Is this series worse than Hellraiser?
Technically, yeah.
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 As a whole.
At
Wrong
least
Turn
there's
6,
a
Last
5-star.
Resort.
At least there's a 5-star film in the Hellraiser franchise.
Last Resort. And that is the Last Resort. 'Cause that's the last one made. Apart from the remake.
Yeah, Wrong Turn 2.
Yeah, sorry. A little tangent there. We're never going to cover them on the podcast, so we might as well discuss them now.
It's fine.
It's
fun.
If you like gory films, you'll enjoy this.
Yeah.
I've always said it, and maybe it's a little not to everyone's taste, but I can forgive a lot in a horror film if it ups the gore.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a bit like the original? Yes. Does it bring massively new things to the genre? No. But is it a fun film? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Aimed at teenage boys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. At least these two gays found something to enjoy now.
Definitely.
Let's give it some awards.
Yes.
Biggest queen is going to Amber for me.
Okay. I went with Eleanor, who isn't afraid to give head to get ahead.
That's true. Biggest gasp, Dale blowing the old man up with a stick of dynamite.
Exploding old man.
Best dialogue, I'm going to be a survivor on this show because on my last show, I learned a little something about winning.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think it's quite funny. I have to say, dialogue-wise, not much standout.
No.
Not many standout lines.
And that's camp. I've got American Idol star Kimberly Caldwell playing herself and getting split in half.
I did. Our American Idol being split in half.
Ratings, I give it 6 lesbian harassing characters straight out of American Pie the Naked Mile out of 10.
I give it 6 pissy shoes out of 10.
Masterpiece, trash, basic, or a camp or bunch of fun. Let's be honest, it's basic.
It is basic. It is. There are moments of campiness, but it is basic.
Yeah. It's available on video on demand and DVD. If you enjoyed this, I recommend checking out Halloween Resurrection.
If you enjoyed this, I recommend checking out Hatchet.
Yes. We are Horror Cult Trash over on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Horror Cult Trash on Twitter. I'm Deadeye-Gaz92 on Letterboxd, Gazman205 on Instagram, and GazCruise92 on Twitter.
I am Chris Barker823 on Instagram and Letterboxd.
And we are Gas Power Fest across all social media as well, and we are accepting submissions for next year's festival. Give us a rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, like a follow on everything else. Next week is technically double episode week, and it's going to start on Sunday, because Sunday is August 18th. And as we all know, August 18th is Texas Chainsaw Massacre Day.
Yes.
So from Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoffs to the actual Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a film that feels like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff, we will be discussing The Next Generation. Or as other people know, the return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Or as other people know, the one starring Renée Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. And we will then be back on Friday next week discussing the gay icon himself, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
So we'll be back same time, same place on the day of rest, Sunday.
Bye.